Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening podcast, and today is an episode number 45. Today we're going to discover 11 signs that your Twin Flame is thinking about you. I know you've been on this journey and wondering if your Twin Flame ever thinks about you while you are in a separation. How to make a difference, and do they actually really think about you? I'm making this episode for the fact that I know myself when I was in a separation, and it happened so all of a sudden that I really thought that my twin flame had no feelings, did not think about me, did not feel what I felt at this time. And obviously it happened due to the fact that there was an information out there on social media and on internet that was explaining to me that when we think about our twin flame, when we are obsessed about our twin flame, the more they run and the more they pull themselves away, like this push and pull method, what we've been hearing all over the place. The more you think about them, the more they run and the more they ignore you. But my experience has been a little bit different, and after working with so many of you, I've discovered that it's not always the case. And there are certain signs and times when your twin flame is actually thinking about you and also can go through certain hard times or missing you all the way. And I'm going to dive into in detail about what I mean about that. I just bring in a very simple example. Two of them actually. It doesn't matter. For example, you have had a friend, let's say you were in a high school together, or a friend that you knew 10 years ago, or a colleague, or someone like this. And sometimes, all of a sudden, they come to your mind. You think about them. So why on earth a twin flame should not think about you at all? It's like you've been erased from their memory, from their feelings. I don't think so. As we know people, we miss people in certain ways. Some kind of things will remind them. So to believe that your twin flame does not think about you or feel anything is a little bit, how do I say? I don't want to call anything wrong or right, because that's not the case here. More of the thing what I want to say is that a little bit naive to think like that. But I know when you are in this separation, there are many emotions and many feelings that are going through where you're thinking about it, that I'm feeling so much, and how on earth my twin flame is just completely ignoring me, not talking to me, and seems like never coming back to me. And we're going to find answers today over there, and some of the things that might surprise you. So make sure to stay tuned until the end. And if you're new here, please make sure to like and subscribe, as this helps this channel and helps me to take my time and devote this free information and so on and so on. So thank you so much if you can join. And if you like what I'm doing. So the next example would be that, I believe any of you who are listening in today's episodes definitely have had situations in their life where they're thinking about someone. Let's say they're thinking about Lisa. Let's call her Lisa, and you're thinking in the morning in some reason, what is Lisa doing? Wondering how is her life? And on that very same day, you will receive a message from Lisa, and you would say, oh my God, you won't believe I was just thinking about you today. I'm sure many of you have had this kind of situations. You can hit the like button if you have it, if you have this kind of situations in your life. But here is another thing, what shows exactly the energy. Everything is energy. And the moment we experience something, there's a reason behind it. Things don't come to us just randomly. There is a reason, there is an energy, there is a shift, there is something is happening. Here is why I always speak so highly about becoming your higher self, understanding the energy, understanding what you have to shift when. And when you become your higher self, your intuition is becoming so much higher that you're able to realize that no, these are not coincidences. These are not just like random things that are happening. These things are happening because of the energy. Now, of course, you can ask me a question like, wow, if my twin flame runner is really missing me so much or thinking about me, why they don't reach out to me? Why they ignoring me? Why did they disappear out of the blue and didn't say a single word? Or why did they choose to be with someone else? Well, these are very 3D questions. If we really go within, we know that we are together with our twin flame. And you will discover how do you know in today's episode, how much you are actually connected from the energy level. The reason that many separations happen, number one, is that it's made for twin flames to realize that you are a twin flame enduring that separation. Because the twin flame is coming to your life as a sign for spiritual awakening, as a time where you have to go within and connect with the source. Either it's a God, either it's universe, either it's the higher self. You're going to connect with your soul. But you can't connect with your soul when your ego is there, which plays around that I want this, I want things like this is how it is. Twin flame connection has nothing to do with a 3D life. Your twin can be married to someone else. You can be married to someone else. And you can both be happily married to somebody else. It doesn't mean that your partners are wrong for you and so on. What it means is that when the twin flames come together, that moment is like a sign for you that welcome to the journey, welcome to closer to God, and now it's time to trust. Now it's time to manifest. Now it's time to make the change. Because you most probably be living your life not in the right way. And you have to now align with your soul's purpose. If you don't know what is your soul's purpose, and if you don't know how to get into the union, I would highly recommend to book a call with me. It's at the discounted price. It's no longer for free, but it's at a discounted price, and you get a huge clarity. I'm very happy with the people I work with, that they are going towards their goals, they're going towards their life's purpose, and that gives me so much peace. Because the moment you're doing what you're supposed to do, guess who is coming back? You can guess 3 times. Well, you don't have to. It's your twin flame who is coming back. Because that's why they're coming to your life. They're coming to save you, they're coming to guide you, and they're going to show you who you are. Because you've been living in a certain life for a very long time. So that's why the separation has to be there. That it's not just a random breakup, or it's just not another love story, or where your heart gets broken. This connection is profound. It's inside. As much as you're trying to avoid this, as much as you're trying to be away from it and say, I'm going to stop it. I'm not going to think about this person no longer. I'm not going to be in touch with this person. I'm going to do everything to erase this person. This person's energy is going to be even more active. Because what the soul wants is that, please connect with me. Please love me the way I am. Leave this 3D away from here. Please connect me from my soul level. I need you. And once you do that, you get more peace and your brain starts to slow down. Because that obsessive thinking is not just like that, like you are in love. It's more of obsessive thinking that you can't control it. You are like somebody has put a spell on you, that you're trying to find out so much about this person and you're trying to get their attention as much as possible. So that's one of the reasons why the twin flames run. The another thing is, and I just feel that we do not give enough credit to our twin flames on the other part, because we are kind of like, wow, we had such a good time together. We had such an energy together. We felt like, we have never felt before. We had the same values, we had the same connection, we had everything same, and then they just disappear. But also think about it, how freaking scary it is. This energy is so intense. It's something I never experienced in my life before. I actually really hope that one of my clients will write the story. Because we think of this twin flames that, it's going to be that you meet your twin flame, there is no pain, there is no spiritual awakening, that there is just going to be a love story. And if you think like that, then I'm just sorry, but it's not that. Twin flames are not about that. Twin flames is a journey, first of all. Second of all, it's the same energy. You're sharing the same conscious energy. And once you become united inside of you, the union outside can happen. But I just want to bring in one thing, because many people can say, oh, these twin flames don't exist. It's another craziness, madness. It's just like, there is no proof of this, and, we're making this all up, and, you just had a crush on someone. I had another day, I really hope she will write her story to me. Another client, she's 67 years old today. 67. She's been married twice in her life. She had some boyfriends here and there. And now she's 67 and she came across with her twin flame. She told me she's never ever felt something so profound, so strange, and now listen to this. They don't even speak the same language whatsoever. They pretty much communicate through Google Translate. But the energy is so profound there. The energy is like, she literally, when she was explaining to me, was like, I could understand her. I can see what is happening. And even though we don't speak the same language. And she says, I'm 67. I never planned to meet somebody. I actually moved into a small village to be on my own and just live my life. And well, there he was. And now is another proof for us that there is no age, there is no such a thing that it's going to go away. If you've been chosen to twin flame journey and it's really your twin flame, I'm talking of the real twin flames, not the little crush you had. If you've been on this journey for a little time, then it may be hard to say it, although there are many ways where we can confirm it. But twin flames is so profound. And I just want to tell to everybody that it's all about love. You need to become love. You need to become the love energy. There can't be any jealousy. There can't be any anger, fears. It's pure love. It's the purest form of love. And so now when our twin flame runs, as the second point of this, is that this energy is very intense. For you, think of the fact that you get to listen to my podcast today or search for another information and you kind of get the peace, you're realizing, that's why I'm feeling like this. That is what is happening. And plus, as you are the divine feminine who wakens before the divine masculine, you have this, you're starting to develop this inner sense of realization. Meanwhile, divine masculine is trying to still logically solve this. So there's a big fight. And like I mentioned before, I truly believe that my twin flame didn't feel anything. I was really my mindset about that was exactly that, okay, because our conversation happened like this, like the electricity was cut off at one day. I remember it was a Friday morning, I text a message and I told a bit of a funny or a life story, and this message was never read and this message was never answered for about 4 months. In between of that, of course, I deleted all the messages, I deleted the number, I can't remember if I blocked or not blocked, but I know I tried to erase everything I had. 4 months, I didn't hear anything until I surrendered and until I started to trust the universe and I was agreeing that I am on this twin flame journey. Guess who popped back? And so from there on, it took another good about 4 to 6 months. I can't right now exactly tell you. And then I asked him, I asked all the questions. I was like, did you feel the connection? Why didn't you talk to me? And he told me the whole thing, how he was suffering as well. And it was very difficult for him. I can't remember what, I have the message. He said like, when you left, it really affected me. And I was like, I could not understand what does he mean about me leaving? I never left anything. But it was made by the universe. And for good, because it made me to go inside of me. Another thing I have I just want to really say to everybody of you, we are trying to avoid pain. And that's why, in the sense that whenever there is a pain, we take a painkiller. Whenever there is emotional pain, we either go to the drugs or alcohol or avoid to sit down with this pain. This pain will not disappear until we sit down with this pain and we talk to this pain. Whatever pains we have, whatever fears we have, we need to also address them. And we don't like doing it. It's like, when you are in debt and you have to go and start seeing how much you are in debt and start solving it. Well, pain is same, but it's even more worse because you don't know when did you pick up that pain and how did it get into your system. And I know that many of you had calls with me or doing or are in the process of going into the ego death, the dark night of the soul. Many of us try to avoid this. Thinking, if I do this, if I do that, if I go there, and I just really want to say that, no, this is part of the process and you need to allow yourself to experience it. Is it easy? No. It was the worst time of my life. And I was just going to say, I've given birth twice in my lifetime. It was nothing like that. Giving birth for me was easy. But going through that spiritual awakening and ego death, I really thought that there is no end to this. That I was on the floor crying, feeling like this is like inside of my system, my gut. It was so deep and it was so painful. And I was just wondering when it will end. When? I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I could only work. I was not connected to anybody. I think I was very good at putting a mask on that no one else was able to discover it. And that's why the work gave me a lot of, because I was most of the time alone at the work, so I was able to cry in the car, I was able to be away, but it was so devastating. But I had to go through it in order to become honest with myself and align with myself. I had to purify myself. And here is why I just want to say that there are no painkillers on that moment. You have to go through it. So really embrace that. But now let's just dive into the 11 signs. And we start with the first one. And this is exactly, I would say that this comes more after you've gone through your ego death. Because when you are in your dark night of the soul, in your ego death, it's very difficult to understand what is happening to you. One day you feel good, the next day you feel completely destroyed, and so on and so on. But the number one sign would be that when your twin flame is thinking about you. And this can be like a sudden emotional shifts. So for example, you are feeling really happy today, you're doing your things, you are like in your flow, and all of a sudden you have like this, you really feel like this energy is coming over you, and you start crying. Out of nowhere, you start crying, and you're wondering, what is happening? Why am I feeling such an amount of sadness? Why I can't be just happy? What is happening to me? Well, if you can't find the answer, then it's most probably that something your twin flame is going through and thinking about you. Again, I'm going to tell you that I believe that my twin flame didn't feel any of that, because that was presented for me on the internet, what I read and what I consumed. It was all about the more you think about them, the more they run. So I believed, okay, I am so obsessed, I can't, I'm waking up, I'm going to bed, my whole life is around it. So most probably my twin flame has no feelings over me whatsoever. Well, when I got to talk to my twin flame and ask about certain things, the answer was not like that. The answer was that for him was also when he told me once, I really wanted to text you and say, hey, let's meet up. And I just couldn't get myself, do it. And I was like, I know, I felt that. I remember that once I was out and I actually invited him, but that was prior, because that was the time where I had no idea that we are twin flames. That was the time where I really thought I just, happened to have a friend. I don't even know what I thought, because I thought that I couldn't understand anything. I'm going to be very honest. I knew that there was energy. I knew that there was some kind of a connection, like completely magnetic connection. But I thought that this is, because I am by nature very friendly and I get along with people very quickly. And so I was really blind, and I remember the time I went out and I asked him to come with me for an event, and he eventually said he's not coming. And I was like, okay, fine. And during that evening, I kept on feeling like he wants to invite me over. And none of us said anything. We just were messaging back and forth and we didn't say anything. And then I think 2-3 days went by and he said, I really want to invite you, but I was too afraid. And I was like, I felt that. I felt all of these voices. But then I did not understand this journey whatsoever. It was prior to our separation. The time when we were in a separation, that not talking, we did not speak to each other 4 months, not a single word. And I tell you, the way our communication was cut off was like electricity disappeared. Like there was no way of communication. Nobody said anything and it was gone. Like someone vanished. And that triggered me a lot. And so eventually when we got into the good conversation and I realized, and I went through my dark night of the soul, I started to make many changes in my energy. I've spoken a lot about it, how I was living in a masculine energy. And so I finally surrendered to the God. The God just took me everywhere. The universe just took me everywhere to find my peace, to find my alignment. And today I am where I was supposed to be. And this is all because I trusted, finally, the universe. I stopped fighting against the universe. Were all of these decisions easy? No. But I had to. Like it's always we say in life, you have to give up something in order to receive something new. You can't have the same things if you're holding the same energy. Here is why you have to declutter your house, because if you want new things, you have to. Why you have to change the energies, change the places, because if you want new things, you need to exchange the energy. Everything is energy. So if you wish your twin flame to come back, you need to shift your energy. You need to become your higher self. Just blocking them, just avoiding them, just staying away from them will simply not work for a long term. Because here is another secret I want to tell you. In our last Patreon group call, there was a woman who asked a very wise question. And I have to go in detail for my next episodes in it, because it's a very complex, and I know that just saying it with a few words, it will not bring a clarity. But she asked a good question. Why are we called divine feminine as a chaser, while divine feminine is the one who attracts, not chase? Because divine masculine is the one who chases. So here is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That divine feminine is the one whose third eye, whose intuition is opening up, realizing that this connection is way more than just a love, like in a way of love story. There was something so profound that you cannot explain. But what happens is that our divine feminine is not in balance. We have both energies, divine feminine and divine masculine. And it's not in balance. So the divine feminine, the energy, what we should be operating in, and what happens when we're operating in divine feminine is that we have a trust. We have a trust of the universe. We have a trust that everything is working out. We have a trust that we are in a union with our twin flame. We have a trust that our twin flame is actually loving us. We have a trust that we are connected. But divine feminine is getting so scared that divine masculine energy inside of them is taking over and is used to that. Oh my God, I'm not good enough. I have to do this. I have to do that. You actually have to allow things to come to you. But I'm really going to explain that in detail of one of the episodes, because we have a bit of a... I saw it another day, it was a pretty good explanation, but then there was one thing wrong, was that one is divine feminine and one is divine masculine. No, we all have both energies inside of us. Normally our right side is masculine energy, our left side is feminine energy. And they need to be in balance. But I will go that into detail for the next episode. If you have any questions regarding to this, write me down and I will make, as much as in detail as possible, an episode that will explain that. So I've been repeating that all over and over again, how my twin flame said, yes, he felt. And that's why now I can say that when I had moments where, for example, all of a sudden I felt like some kind of energy comes over me, and I'm starting to feel this emotion, like a fear, happiness, certain part of loneliness, like a sadness, and I couldn't understand where that comes from, then now I know it was my twin flame's energy. I picked it up, and we are so connected. The number 2 will be telepathic messages. And here is when it gets very tricky. First of all, it gets tricky because once you meet your twin flame, from that moment on, you have this weird little voice in your head. You don't notice that in the beginning because you are so absorbed by that energy, by that magnetic energy, that you don't understand anything. You don't even know that you exist. Like the time, space, and yourself doesn't exist. It's just that this moment, like when you pretty much look into your eyes, it's like everything stops on that moment and you are just there. So you don't know that you're actually receiving already messages on that time. It develops during the separation very strongly, that you start hearing some things, you start seeing certain things. You can hear, like your twin flame can tell you, like, I miss you, or tells you something. But then when it happens, your mind comes in and your mind is like, am I freaking going crazy? What are these sounds and what are these messages and why they're coming to me? But then again, once you continue on that journey and you start taking a moment, especially during the meditation, you pause yourself, you listen, you will get the right answers. I know when I'm doing the channeling for my clients, and the twin flame channeling and consultation is the most powerful. There are like very big shifts with that immediately. Just because, first of all, we are clearing a lot of doubt away, the doubt that is holding you back of connecting with your twin flame. We are going into the soul. I had this week or the past week, I had one call with a girl, and there was a very interesting, we were asking if that twin flame would reach out to her and so on and etc. I do not have exact answer at the moment. Maybe she joins our group call and she can tell me and so on. But they were like, if we do channeling, which is the same way telepathically getting the messages from the soul, we are activating them as well. So that's why it's the most powerful. I always say that just make sure you're ready for it. Here's why I always say, let's have a consultation call first. Let's open up the energies, and then we go to telepathic messages and the telepathic communication and channeling, because it's very, very powerful. Many things will change on that point, and especially within you. The energy will shift because you now aligning with your soul for the fact what is the truth from your soul, because you've been manipulating your brain. Your brain has been manipulating you for over and over and over again. So for those who would like to have twin flame channeling, it's available on my website. Although I really would like to say, if you haven't had a call with me first, let's please have a call first, as it's important to understand the energies and what we can do next. So anyhow, this weird voice, what you have in your head, is actually also from your twin flame. And you can do the same for your twin flame. You can communicate them with telepathically. I have a video about it. Watch it, do it, and watch how the magic happens. If you don't believe me, you can just try it and you will see it. I'm not here to, give you an information that is not real. I've done all of that on my own, and it works like magic. The third point will be dreams. And I've always said, and those who've listened to me from the beginning know that I say, when you see a twin flame in your dreams, then write them down. Write down everything you remember and keep a diary of it. Because in the beginning, we might not get an overview. I mean, it can take some time when the things fall into the place. So if you have a diary where you're writing it down, it will be so much easier for you to later realize, And here is something, I'm going to bring in a very controversial person, but I heard that video and I was just like, that's so true. It goes together with telepathic communication and dream connections. So Andrew Tate, I'm sure everybody has heard his name one way or another, and he's very controversial. I have nothing to do, I'm not going to dive into that. What I want to say, he had one video where he said, when the woman really loves you, when the woman deeply loves you, the woman can dream about you and warn you that something is bad about to happen, or they call up to you and say, hey, something is about to happen. And that's in twin flames, is exactly the same. Your twin is often coming to guide you, that what type of decision you have to make, what you should heal, what you should do, and also to warn you if something is about to happen, that I'm here, trust me, I am connected with you. I really want to tell you, everybody, that you are not alone. You have, first of all, spirit guides around you. We all have them. Second of all, if you trust, if you develop this inner strength and this higher self, here is why I am so profound to talk about why you need to become your higher self and what it takes. I am not selling a fairy tale story. I'm not selling that, because that will keep you on a loop. The moment you become your higher self, you become attracted to everything. Your twin flame will be back within, I don't want to say seconds, but within the seconds, let's just say that. When you shift your energy and when you become your higher self, when you do what you're supposed to do, your energy is so high that you attract everything. You attract money, opportunities, right people, connections, and you're just feeling like, wow, what is happening? We all have heard about the law of attraction. We all have heard of that. And this is exactly what is starting to happen the moment you meet your twin flame. You're starting to develop to become your higher self. But when you have limiting beliefs, when you're holding yourself back, when you don't know what to do, you can't become your higher self, because you're completely limiting your life. And also you can't go forward with energies such as jealousy, such as fear, anger towards someone, disappointment, feeling like no one understands you, feeling like you're better than others. No. We are all collectively here. And you become love now. And when you want become love, when you become your higher self, I guarantee you, you attract the right people, you attract your twin flame, and you attract your twin flame back to you in a sense that your twin flame admires you as a woman or as a man in the highest possible level. But how they can come back when you don't even love yourself, when you don't even do what you do? You get up every morning and you're disappointed. You've given one life. Don't be disappointed on that. And even if your twin flame is married and you are married and so on, leave the 3D aside for a minute and think about the energy. Think of what this energy is giving to you. Think of what you can create with this energy. Can you bring more love? Can you bring more art? Can you bring more music, more kindness, more opportunities? Can you bring something with this love energy? And if you can, please start doing it today. It's so important that you will put yourself out there. And I tell you, the moment you do that, your twin flame is back. If you really want to be with your twin flame, this is what you have to do. You can block them, you can avoid talking to them, you can run away from them saying, enough is enough, I don't want to anymore feel that pain. And it can work too. But at the end of the day, what works is when you're your higher self. When you really know that, first of all, I trust the universe. I serve the world. And I know many of you who are listening, you're most probably like, oh my God, again, they're telling me to become my higher self. I don't want to become my higher self. I just want to be with my twin flame. I just want to feel that love. And these are normal emotions. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge at all. I was there. I know exactly. I was so tired of this spiritual talk and all of that, and how you have to become your higher self, and how you have to do this and that, and how when you do this, then it comes back, and all is about doing. I want to say it's not about doing, actually. It's about allowing things to happen. And sometimes we need to pause. So, dreams in that sense are very powerful, so write them down and keep a diary. Here I just want to say another thing. The higher you lift your energies, the more you go into the 5D and so on, your dreams will become more vivid, and you will actually really feel like you were part of that dream, like you were there. And that's a bit scary. For me, it was a bit... I had a time in my life where I woke up and I was so confused. I was like, I was just there. And then, like kind of feel like you are completely exhausted when you wake up in the morning. At the same time, you're like, you have the energy, but it's like you feel like you just did something like amazing. You went there, you did something. And then all of a sudden I'm back here. And I'm like, what just happened? Where did I go? What did I do? Anyways, the next top number 4 would be that you feel them physically. And I know this is really crazy, and you can call me crazy again. I'm absolutely fine with that, because I first of all, I thought that this is I'm making it up. I had many times sensation that is super close to me, and when I've spoken to my clients, when they say like I feel the presence, I feel that the person is next to me. And another day I was in my car, and it was such a weird moment. I tell you that I could, like if I would have had camera that works in the 5D somehow, it was so weird since that, because me and my twin flame, and you can say that my brain makes it up. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the fact that my brain makes up the reality. But this is a very different way my brain makes it up. It's like, let's say I'm driving, I'm all of a sudden, I'm in my bubble, I'm super happy. And then all of a sudden comes this, like I'm not thinking of my twin flame. And all of a sudden I'm like, what is that? Like, I could tell he was sitting next to me. I could tell that there was this energy. And it's a very profound moment. But like it's a very quick moment. It's not there for a long time. But when it happens, then I know again that, okay, my soul is seeking out for the time and conversation. What do I do normally at that time? If I drive, obviously not, but then as soon as I arrive somewhere, I close my eyes, I go into the meditation, and I'm trying to, first of all, understand, was that something important? Was that something I should pay attention to? Was that something was warning to me, or what my soul is trying to tell me? And often I get the answer. So I really would like to say that if you take this journey seriously, schedule yourself 15 minutes meditations when you feel certain things, such as, something inside of you, like you feel like something is happening. Take a moment. Another thing is exactly like this, like you can feel in your body that you feel like it's tingling, or you feel like it's getting super warm all of a sudden, and you're like, what is happening? Or and you can feel like somebody's touching your cheek, that your cheeks are getting, let's say, very hot. Or you have also a sexual energy. You feel like, wow, why am I feeling so aroused? Many of these things. Or your heart starts to palpitate very fast, and you're feeling like there's no reason for that. I actually had last night the weirdest thing, and I still don't have an answer. I was lying in bed, and all of a sudden my chest, and I know I did a very strong channeling on that day. And when I do channeling, I'm also physically experiencing it later on. So I kind of put this exactly together with my twin flame. But why I'm just talking about it is that, and that's why I do only 2 channeling calls per day, because I need to take a moment to pause, to meditate and let it go. And sometimes it is very intense. But what happened to me was, like, I was lying down on the bed, nothing really, like, everything the same like every night. And all of a sudden my chest, and I know that the girl had a very blocked throat chakra, and all of a sudden my chest, my face, and my everything goes super red, like super, super red. And I'm like, that's odd. And then I started to have pains in my body. And I was like, okay, and there was no reason for that. And it lasted quite a long time, so I kind of have a sense that I really activated for her the throat chakra, and I had to let it out of me. So through that experience, it came out of me, but it was intense. So here is why I'm just saying to you that these kind of things, when they happen, it most probably is that your twin flame is connecting with you, or there's a big shift of energy as well. But energy shifts happen when both of you are doing something. So the number 5 example would be that coincidences and synchronicities. And this is again another thing. I've believed that many of them. So of course you see repeated numbers. I said to those who are who have done the consultation calls with me, and they're often asking, like, is it my twin flame? Am I right? Am I wrong? I tell them, well, your energy number at the moment is this. Go into the meditation. Ask from the universe. If you receive it, then it is. And so it's the same. That another thing is, try this. I really would recommend for everybody who is listening today, try this today. If you don't believe me, but try and see what happens. Say that you don't believe that you are on this twin flame. I don't believe I'm on this twin flame journey. This twin flame journey is a madness. It's not, I don't have a twin flame. The twin flame doesn't exist for me. I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with this no longer. I think I'm making this all up in my head, and so on and so on. Watch what starts to come up from there. You will see numbers. You will see your twin flame's name. You will see the things that you've never experienced in your life before, and you'll be like, okay, I get it. I am on this journey. So I would really recommend every one of you to try out this one, and you will see what I'm talking about. Then another thing is that you will hear a song. And here I've heard that from many of you, and that's very interesting one. Because, we all have heard kind of music everywhere, and, songs and so on. But then all of a sudden, you got into your car or you're somewhere and some song is coming and you've heard that song before, many times before. But then all of a sudden you feel like this song is literally talking to you. Like this song is giving you the answers you've been seeking for. And you'll be like, what? How? And you most probably a bit like there is some kind of a connection. So that's another way your twin flame can think about you. And also specific symbols and names and all of that. That means, I also tell you that if you're trying to date somebody else, you're trying to do something else, your twin flame's name is going to be in every single corner, every single place that their higher self is making sure that do not forget me. So another thing is that I already actually mentioned that, so that goes a little bit under that, is exactly that you're feeling that somebody is touching you. You're feeling that there is this person around you. So that's again the same, that the physical touch, you kind of feel like there was a physical touch even though it didn't exist. The next point would be that you, and this is a bit of a weird one in that sense that like I always say that was the weirdest thing for me that has happened in twin flame journey, and that's the smells. For example, you can smell your twin flame's perfume or something like this in a place where it's impossible to smell it. Or you can smell something that you wear together and you're all of a sudden like, oh my God, it reminds me something. And that's another thing. It happened to me. I wouldn't put that in here, but it happened to me once and I was like, what is this thing? And a funny fact, on that day, we were quite in a contact and I texted him. I said, can you just tell me the perfume you had? Because I want to know. And then of course, he said quite a funny story, but I leave that out from here right now. Just let it be. So the next sign would be that the universe starts talking to you. So here again, it goes together with the previous ones, but what's the difference is that the universe can become your mirror at this place that starts reflecting your twin flame's thoughts. And I really actually want to say about this thing that we often think, and this is what I did wrong, and I know many of you are listening and you are like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If my twin flame really loves me, why they're avoiding me? And why he doesn't get in touch with me? Why he simply doesn't say that? Well, many of us have a 3D situation over there, such as marriage, such as relationship, such as fear over something so profound and not understanding what is happening. Here is why I say that we have an information that we can rely on. If they're not awakened yet, because for them to hear about twin flames, to hear about all of that is overwhelming. Because it still takes them time to get used to it, that. And then sometimes the universe steps in and just sends you signs and tells you something. For example, things that can happen will be very unlikely. For example, a couple comes towards you who have the same names like you. Or you will see birds flying together and they are like coming next to you, or they are looking at you, flying around it, or you will see two butterflies, or you will see, you will see the weird signs in certain places that you are like, okay, I get it, you think about me. And then, of course, is another thing that is these emotions. I no longer believe that when we feel sad, that they don't feel sad. And when we feel happy, they might probably feel happy. When we feel in a good place, it's all great. We share the same consciousness, so they can feel everything. So it's again the mirror of what is happening and so on. So sometimes we go through a lot and so are they, but maybe in a different ways. Maybe they're very good at masking it. I'm going to tell you that I was so good at putting a mask on during that process. My friend told me, who was in the twin flame journey later on, she told me, I had no idea that you went through it and you didn't speak to anyone about it. How on earth you survived? I'm still surprised I did. Actually. Because not speaking about this to anyone and putting a mask on that I'm all okay, I'm all fine. Of course, my husband energetically felt that I'm far away from fine. But no one else could tell. None of my friends know that what I went through. And so in that sense, I just want to say that here is why I opened up consultation calls in a reasonable price, that if you feel like you need to talk, if you need to shift your energy, then I am here. I'm here to make this for you. It's all about that. And so if you wish, the links are all in bio, twinflameawakeningjourney.com, and you can easily get in touch with me. You can just share the story. You can just email to me. No need to always, book the call. But so these were pretty much the signs. I didn't count if there were exactly 11, but I believe there were more than 11 in certain ways. What I wanted to say is that your twin flame is connected with you. I've done so many channeling where we get the honest answers, and we can really see that it's not that your twin flame hates you and don't want to be with you. There's so much more underneath that. And once we liberate this, the magic will start to happen. So just believe. But I just want to clarify one more thing. The push and pull theory that we have heard, that when we think about them a lot, when we're putting a lot of energy to this, they will pull away. I agree with that. And why do I agree with that? Is because when we really want something, we are so impatient. We cannot wait to have it. We want now. And also, these thoughts in your head are so obsessive and so strong. The energy is like overpowering, so it can't come back to you. That's why the balance is super important. But again, give yourself a credit that, okay, it's happening to me right now. It's going to be less and less over the time, but I have to go through this at the moment. It's not an easy process. It's not easy at all, but it's a process. So I hope that helped you a lot. I have a couple of other things to mention, and those who want to get extra information, so here it comes. Before we conclude today's episode, I want to extend my gratitude to each and every one of you who have tuned in to my channel. I just want to say a big thank you. Your energy and presence just simply means the world to me. Your likes, your subscribes, your comments, your everything means so much to me. So thank you so much. Without you, without this love, without this connection, I don't know if I would have a hope that the world will be a better place. You are absolutely amazing. And I also wanted to take a moment to invite you to my Patreon community. And by becoming a Patreon, you'll not only support this podcast, which is very helpful because it gives me more time and energy that I can devote for this project. But also, when you are my Patreon, you'll have an access 2 times per week, a monthly group calls. We have now about every time, I would say 25 people, 20-25 people. And you can ask questions, you can just listen to it, you can just join in. And it's going to happen this Sunday again, Sunday 22nd of October. And it will be at 12 o'clock New York time, 6 o'clock Central European time. And if you are on my mailing list, you will receive it. Again, I want to say another thing. If you don't have $5.99 to support this channel, it's absolutely fine. You can still join the call. I'm not here to tell you what to do and how to do and so on and so on. And you can listen these calls. They will be put it out there. None of these, they are recorded, but you'll be anonymous. Your face, your identity is hidden. So nobody would know it's you if you're afraid of that. And they're very helpful. We always go over time a little bit, but normally it's 2 hours. And again, I'm going to say that these calls are not that you have to stay for the next 2 hours. You can come in between, you can go, you can do whatever you wish. It's really a free form, and I want to keep it as like this. Also, if you are my supporter on Patreon, is that once a month, and this Sunday, I will choose one lucky Patreon who will receive a complimentary channeling and consultation call with me. That is a worth of $150, and this is each month I'm choosing one person who is my Patreon for that call. Like I said, the channeling is the most powerful and most helpful, and if you support me on Patreon, you have a chance to win that for free if your finances are like you cannot afford that at the moment. Like I said, for me, it's important that I can give back as much as possible and connect with you. And the final thing what I want to say is that many of you have heard from the previous episodes that I'm planning to make a retreat. And this will be end of February, beginning of March, when it's this 2024 Shivaratri is happening. Shivaratri is where divine feminine and divine masculine unite. And the energies are out there, and we'll do everything to align those energies. And I believe once you leave the retreat, you'll be a completely new person, and you will surrender into this divine, into the universe. What I'm planning and what are the programs right now, I said it will be 10 people and not more than this. I try to keep it as cost effective as possible, but I'm also putting a lot of different things inside so that you will receive over these 5 days, I think it's 4 nights and 5 days what I'm planning to do that. There will be Reiki for each one of you, that you can have your private Reiki session, breathwork session, yin yoga every day, vegetarian meals to keep yourself connected to the universe, and we'll do like guided breathwork and sound healing, and we'll have the things where we share, we let go, we purify. These are going to be very powerful things we're gonna do. But again, we'll do channeling as well. So I'm saying it's going to be something that I put together based on my experience, and I want you to experience that. I will make also a possibility to pay monthly or like half price and so on. I will put out the information hopefully this week on my website, and those who sign up, like I said, it will be only for 10 people, and hopefully we can meet this year together. Most probably it will be here in Europe, so those who are in the United States, it will be a little bit complicated, but I hope that one day we can do it over there as well. And another part of it is that your strengths and your availability and what you are bringing to this world with spirituality will definitely be also part of it. So let's say whatever you're going to do, I'm looking forward to this. And so whether you're looking guidance, healing, or just a simply deeper connection with your inner self, that's I think for you that will change and connect with your twin flame, and you will realizing how powerful it is. I'm just gonna say another thing at the end of the thing. I've actually recorded this episode fifth time I've done it. I don't know why the universe didn't want me to share this, why there were so many complications. My computers, of course, they absolutely crash when I'm doing anything towards my twin flame. It's incredible. I can do everything else and I have 2 computers. I can do everything else. As soon as I edit, as soon as I record, they crash, they become slow, the internet disappears. I don't know, like everything happens. So that's why I've put out the donation for my new computer. I have half the monies together for those who still wish to support and wish the content keep on coming, and you have extra $1 or $2, you can of course donate this as well. It's just absolutely incredible. I've never ever experienced something like that, and today is it's the fifth time I've recorded it. That's why there has been a bit of a pause. And then final thing, please make sure to subscribe and like and connect, because the next episode, what is coming out, is with Dan-Marie Blatt. Her book is out, Magical Breadcrumbs, and we'll have an episode together where we talk about what happens when you're married and you have affair or intimacy sex together with your twin flame, how it changes you, how it changes the relationship. Will your marriage last? Will the connection stay? Everything is going to be out there, and it's going to be one of the longest episodes, but I hope you will love it. Those who have been on my Patreon will see the video version. Those who are not, again, the normal version will come out on both on YouTube and Spotify. Anyways, a lot to tell as usual, but I am so happy that you tuned in today. I am totally grateful. Today I'm surrounded by candles over here, and I would say that each one of the candle represents you. It represents you, who is supporting me, who is here, and who is helping me to make this happen. You are amazing, and you are beautiful. Thank you so much, and lots of love and light.
Should have told you that you're beautiful, but the days pass and now it's so long ago. Did you make it? Did you break free? Did you manage to be who you wanna be? Maybe somewhere you think about me too.